He was the kind of CEO people whispered about in hallways. Cold, calculated, untouchable. But the moment he heard a little girl tug at his coat and tremble, "My mom isn't waking up, please help," something inside him cracked. Because the address she gave him, he recognized it. And the woman he found unconscious inside that tiny apartment was the same woman someone had sworn to him was dead. Before the story begins, make sure to subscribe for more life-changing stories that hit straight to the heart. Lucas Hale walked through the lobby of his corporate headquarters with the kind of presence that made people step aside. He was a CEO whose reputation traveled faster than his footsteps. Sharp blue eyes, crisp suit, measured stride, and a permanent seriousness that told the world he didn't tolerate mistakes. People said he built Hale Enterprises on pure discipline and zero emotion. But the truth was more complicated than that, though no one really knew it. Not even Lucas himself. He liked to think he was made of logic, numbers, and strategy. He liked to think his heart had shut down years ago, right after the one woman he ever loved disappeared from his life without a trace. He buried everything after that. Ambition became his oxygen. That morning, he wasn't expecting anything unusual. He stepped outside the building, preparing to enter his car when he felt a small tug on his coat. He didn't react at first. Most people didn't dare touch him. But then he heard it. A trembling whisper so fragile it pierced through the armor he wore. "Sir, my mom isn't waking up. Please help." He turned and found a little girl, maybe 6 years old, wearing a faded pink coat and clutching a torn backpack like it was her lifeline. Her hair was messy, her cheeks blotchy from crying, and her eyes, big brown eyes, were filled with a terror that no child should ever know. Lucas blinked, unsure why she had approached him of all people. "Where is your mother?" he asked. The girl sniffed, wiped her nose with her sleeve, and whispered an address. Lucas froze. His breath caught in his chest. That address, he knew that place. It was a small apartment building on the old side of the city. A place he hadn't visited in nearly 8 years. A place tied to memories he never dared reopen. And it was tied to one person. The woman someone had once told him was gone. The woman who left him without goodbye. The woman he spent years trying to find, until his father's right-hand man came to him one night and said she had died in an accident. He didn't cry. He simply buried her in the same space where he buried the rest of his emotions. But now, a child was standing before him, asking him to go to that same address, telling him her mother wasn't waking up. His voice dropped to a whisper without him meaning to. "What's your mother's name?" The girl hesitated for a moment, as if unsure whether she should reveal it to a stranger. "Her name is Maya." Lucas felt the world tilt beneath his feet. Maya, the name he tried not to think about, yet thought about every night when the world got quiet. Maya, the woman with a laugh soft enough to silence storms. Maya, who once told him she would never leave him. Maya, who vanished. Lucas swallowed hard. He didn't speak. He simply took the girl's hand, instructed his driver to cancel all meetings, and rushed into the car with her. The drive felt surreal. The city blurred outside the window, but all Lucas could see was Maya's face. Memories he refused to touch suddenly flooded back. The way she used to rest her head on his shoulder, the way she told him love wasn't something to fear, the way she promised she'd explain everything soon. Then one day she was gone, and all he got was a message from his father's advisor. "It's better you don't look for her." Later the story came. She had died. Hit by a drunk driver. He believed it because believing the alternative, that she left him willingly, hurt too much. Now a small girl sat next to him, legs swinging, staring at her fingers while tears slid silently from her eyes. She looked so much like Maya it hurt. Lucas didn't dare ask if Maya was her mother biologically. That question alone would unravel him. Instead, he focused on the immediate problem. "Has your mom ever passed out before?" he asked gently. The girl shook her head. "No, she said she was just tired last night, but this morning she wouldn't wake up." I shook her and shook her. She didn't open her eyes. The car screeched to a stop outside the old building. Lucas felt his heart pounding in a way he hadn't felt in years. He carried the girl up the stairs when she struggled to keep up. The apartment door was slightly open. He pushed it wider and stepped inside. The smell of fading perfume, old wood, and a hint of lavender he knew too well hit him instantly. And there she was, Maya, lying unconscious on the floor beside a small couch. Her hair sprawled across the carpet, her skin pale, her breathing shallow. Lucas dropped to his knees without thinking, his hands trembling as he touched her face. Maya, he whispered, and the name felt like a wound ripping open. He checked her pulse. It was weak but there. He lifted her into his arms, shocked by how light she felt. He called emergency services as he rushed her to his car. The girl sat beside him, crying into her hands. Lucas placed his hand on her shoulder. I promise you she'll be okay. He didn't know if it was true, but he needed the girl to feel hope. At the hospital, doctors swarmed around Maya. Lucas paced the hallway like a caged lion, unable to sit still. The girl sat on a chair hugging her backpack, staring at the floor. After what felt like hours, a doctor finally approached. Are you family? Lucas hesitated. How could he explain what they were? What they could have been? What they maybe still were? I'm someone who cares, he finally said. The doctor nodded and explained that Maya had collapsed from exhaustion, malnutrition, and severe stress. Her body simply shut down. She would recover, but slowly. That crushed Lucas more than anything. Maya is Maya? Living like this? Struggling? Starving? Raising a child alone. Why? Why would she choose this instead of coming back to him? When the doctor left, Lucas knelt in front of the girl. What's your name? He asked softly. Lily, she whispered. Lily Hale? He asked before he could stop himself. The girl blinked. Mom said, I shouldn't tell anyone my full name. She said it would cause trouble. Lucas felt another blow to his chest. Why would her name cause trouble? Why would Maya hide? And why that address? There were too many questions and he needed answers. Hours later, when Maya finally opened her eyes, her gaze found Lucas instantly. Her breath hitched. You're here, she whispered. Lucas didn't know whether to be angry, relieved, or heartbroken. You disappeared, he said quietly. I was told you died, lied to. Why? Maya's eyes filled with tears. She looked away. Because I had to protect Lily. Lucas felt cold. From what? From me. She shook her head instantly. No, never from you. The truth came out slowly. Years ago, when Maya found out she was pregnant, she had gone to Lucas's father to tell him. She wanted to tell Lucas herself, but he was abroad during a major business expansion. She trusted his father to deliver the news. But instead, his father told her that Lucas didn't want a child, that he had too much on his plate, that she should disappear for the sake of Lucas's reputation. Maya didn't believe him at first, but then a letter arrived, supposedly from Lucas, coldly ending things. Maya showed it to the father's advisor, who confirmed Lucas didn't want anything to do with her. Terrified and heartbroken, she fled, and she hid her daughter's identity because she was warned that if Lucas ever found out, he would attempt to take full custody, and she would lose her child. Lucas felt his stomach twist. That's a lie, he said. All of it. I never wrote any letter. I didn't even know you were alive. Maya closed her eyes, tears sliding down her cheeks. I didn't know what to believe. Your father had power. I had nothing. The pain in Lucas turned into rage, not at Maya, but at the betrayal from the one man he trusted. He looked at Lily, who watched everything with wide eyes. He knelt beside her and brushed a strand of hair from her face. You're my daughter, he whispered. Lily looked confused but curious. Does that mean you're my dad? Lucas nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. Lily threw her arms around him, and he held her tightly, feeling something inside him shift, expand, come alive again. Lucas spent the next few days at the hospital, refusing to leave Maya or Lily's side. He brought food, clothes, toys, comfort. He watched them sleep. He listened to their breathing. He replayed every memory, every moment with Maya, every regret. And when Maya was discharged, he took them both to a safe, warm place, a home where they finally felt protected. But the story did not end there. Lucas confronted his father. The confrontation was explosive. Years of lies unraveled. The fake letter, the threats, the manipulation. His father admitted it coldly. I knew your relationship with that woman would destroy your focus. I did what was necessary. Lucas felt a rage so deep he couldn't speak for several seconds. You cost me 8 years of my daughter's life, he finally said. And you nearly killed Maya. His father showed no remorse. Lucas made the decision instantly. He removed him from the company board, cut all ties, and banned him from coming anywhere near Maya or Lily. Lucas returned to Maya's side that night. She looked fragile but stronger than before. He sat beside her on the couch as Lily played with crayons on the floor. I want to fix everything, he said quietly. Not out of guilt, not out of obligation, but because I want you both in my life. Maya looked at him for a long moment. I'm scared, she admitted. So am I, Lucas whispered. But I'm more scared of losing you again. Life slowly began to heal. Lily grew comfortable calling him Dad. Maya started smiling again, small and hesitant at first, then brighter every day. Lucas found himself feeling emotions he thought he'd buried long ago. But another twist arrived unexpectedly. One evening, when Lucas came home early, he found Maya sitting on the balcony holding an envelope. Her hands were shaking. "This came for you," she said. The envelope was old, yellowed. His name written in handwriting he recognized Maya's. Lucas opened it and felt his heart crumble. It was the letter she wrote him 8 years ago. The one she begged his father to give him. The letter where she told him she was pregnant. Where she told him she wanted to build a family with him. Where she told him she loved him. It had never reached him. His father had stolen it, and reading it now reopened every wound but also healed every unanswered question. Lucas wrapped his arms around Maya from behind, resting his forehead against her shoulder. "We can't get those years back," he whispered, "but we can build new ones." And they did, slowly, carefully, day by day. Lucas still ran a company, but his priorities shifted. He had dinner with Lily every night. He helped her with homework. He laughed again. And with Maya, he learned to love again, not the rushed, intense love of youth, but a deeper, steadier love built from pain, forgiveness, and the decision to stay. The story of how they found each other again spread like quiet wildfire among the people around them. Not because Lucas was a CEO, not because of scandal, but because sometimes the most powerful stories are not about love found. It's about love rediscovered after being buried under lies. And it all began with a little girl whispering, "My mom isn't waking up." This too at the end of your video. Ask your viewers before you go. Tell me in the comments from which part of the country you're watching this story.